This is the book of James, chapter 5, starting at verse 1, and it reads, Go to now, ye rich men, weep and howl for your miseries that shall come upon you. Your riches are corrupted, and your garments are moth-eaten. Verse 3, Your gold and silver is cankered, and the rust of them shall be a witness against you, and shall eat your flesh as it were fire. Ye have heaped treasures together for the last days. I'm going to start off by giving all praise, all honor, and all glory to call Loyam La Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Racha, Kodash Barakatham. I say double honors to my apostles, the elders of the great millstone, who do teach and rule well. Peace and salutations to the Akim across the four corners of the earth, pushing the truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives and their freedom to do so, now more so than ever. Shalom to the Akim and the Akwat out there listening and learning. Lord willingly, this is edifying. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in the land of other nations, which appear like the other nations, but subscribe to this truth. To you I say shalom. This is your brother Yahweh Sop out of the GMS Cleveland Church. I'm a fellow servant, and I'm coming at you with another lesson through the Spirit and through the power of Yahweh Shemel Shai. And basically, this lesson is going into this article I had seen out of today. It was actually another one. I had saved it, I think, yesterday or the day before, and I was about to do a video on it and show you how the Spirit is so cold. I was going to do the video on it. I had, lined up my scriptures, and I heard my phone go off, so I'm thinking it's the group chat or a brother text me or somebody text me, and it happened to be this article again, out of another source, I guess, but the same article. So through the Spirit, I'm taking it the most I wanted this to come out. Sometimes when brothers bring out lessons over, not lessons, but like scriptures, like a brother might say a scripture and then the brother might repeat the scripture, brother be like, that's the Spirit, which the Most High God often repeats himself in the scriptures multiple times, So it says, out of today, it says Sharon Stone reveals she lost half of her money to this banking thing amid recent bank failures. She said it a banking thing, and I used to be under the mindset that, all these, people in Hollywood and, these people that's the entertainers, they're literally, part of this system as far as they're in the know of what's going on, but some are and some aren't. You got to remember, it's that's just like saying everybody part of the government is a part of this when that's not the case. That's why you got certain people that are politicians that that don't basically go along with the plan, and that's why they have to be taken out. And that's what happened throughout history. With Lincoln, with Kennedy. They were privy to certain things, but certain things they weren't. We're not. I just was listening to a video that the elder Yashawambo had put up, and it was going into basically, I forgot who the lady was, but she was a politician, and she was talking about a bill that they thought was basically she was saying how the bill was actually a bill. They tried to throw it at the last minute and expecting people just to agree to but then when you read it, it was like a big, large bill, a lot of pages, and they come to find out the bill went into outlawing all the other digital currencies and making, like only one digital currency that would be, like federally backed by the U.S. government. So, not to digress, I don't know if she's, because you got to remember, scriptures talk. Well, it's a saying, the whole world is a stage and people are merely players in it. So, I don't know if she's playing a role, but you're going to have, the scriptures even say, in the Revelation chapter 13, matter of fact, let me get it. It say, no man may buy or sell save he that had the mark or the number of the beast or the number of his name. Here's patience. Where's that at? I forgot which one I had it in. I think it was this. Yeah, it was this one. I'm butchering it, so I got to get call Loyam La Yahweh Shah. I got to get it verbatim. Got to get the scriptures the respect they deserve. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 13, verse 16. It reads, "And he calls of all, both small and great, rich and poor." So that's going to those that are nobody in the society and those that have a name for themselves in the society, those that have money in the society and those that are poor in the society, those that are actually thinking themselves free and out and about and able to travel to a degree, and those that are actually, not to receive a mark. When you go into that word mark, it's charagma, meaning a stamp. And when you keep on going into that word, you're going to get that karax, which is a palisade, so on and so forth. It's a device. So very well, you got these, because you've had a lot of entertainers within the last 2 years, maybe 2 or 3 years, that's dropped dead from, through the spirit, we believe, through that jump shot. Because you had these people that was basically no issues, and then after this particular thing got introduced to the world, just all these, you got something called the sudden death syndrome. You know what I mean? People just automatically just all of a sudden just falling out. So it says the actor opened up about her financial loss in a speech at the Women's Cancer Research Fund's benefit on March 16th, where she was honored with the Courage Award. Now, the article said that she basically broke down and cried. And that's what made me come out with James chapter 5 verse 1. It said, "Weep ye and howl for your miseries." So it says Sharon Stone revealed in an impassioned speech at a recent cancer benefit she was financially affected because of recent banking failures. Stone was honored with the 2023 Courage Award at the Women's Cancer Research Fund's an unforgettable evening benefit on Thursday, March 16th, for her support of breast cancer research and dedication to raising awareness for the cause, according to press release. During her speech at the benefit, which was captured by Chris Gardner from The Hollywood Reporter and shared on Twitter, the longtime activist urged attendees to increase their donations, noting that a mere donation was a form of courage during this rough time. "Because I know what's happening. I just lost half my money to this banking thing, and that doesn't mean that I'm not here," she said, wiping a tear from her face. So that's the spirit. She was crying in regards to that. While the 65-year-old did not share any further details about her financial loss, this news came less than 1 week after Silicon Valley Bank was shut down by the California Department of Financial Protection and Innovation Friday, March 10th. According to the NBC News, CVB closure marked the biggest bank failure since the 2008 financial crisis and the second largest in U.S. history following the collapse of Washington Mutual. Stone was also candid about other personal struggles in her life, referencing some of the difficult experiences she had in recent months. Nobody cares about her brother or, none of that. It says, Stone continued, "Yes, we've had a tremendous amount of loss in these last couple of years." And going back to what got introduced in the last couple of years. The pandemic. It says a couple years ago, "So many of you also have," referring to the death of her 11-year-old godson, River, who died. Prior to the emotional plea to attendees, the Hollywood Reporter reported that Stone also reflected on her own health challenges over the years in her speech, including a procedure where... So that's pretty much it. It was kind of quick and straight to the point. This woman catching hell, though. He's talking about that's why she was at the this breast cancer awareness thing or whatever, because she's supposed to basically reflecting on including a procedure where the actor had tumors removed from her breast. So she basically could have had breast cancer. So the scriptures talk about those that are rich on the side have received their consolation. We coming to the end. So, and the scriptures talk about many great miseries shall be done to them that dwell in the last days. That dwell on the earth, roughly paraphrased. Many great evils. So, he not only is she being plagued health-wise, but she lost half her money. So, and she gonna lose more. A person like that, is gonna ultimately, especially an Edomite, if she's an Edomite, which, I only remember from Basic Instinct, but no, I think Sharon Stone also played in, she played in Total Recall, the first one, if I'm not mistaken. She's a decent enough actress. That's when they was called actresses. But nonetheless, no, I don't feel sorry for her or any or 2/3 of our people. You got 2/3 of our people that worship mammon and basically are going to sell us down the river to partake in this devil society. And I was listening to the elders, I think last week's live, and they was talking about how you've always had our people that basically joined up to the heathen. And when you take time to think about it, you have. You know what I mean? So it will be no different this go around. But, you know, in the book of Genesis chapter 47, it talked about how the money felleth. And, you know, again, everything is reincarnated, everything. So, you know, basically, the money's going to fail this time. And we're seeing that now. That's why these banks are failing. This is the book of Revelation chapter 6 and verse 6. And it reads, "And I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts say, a measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny. And see thou hurt not the oil and the wine." The oil and the wine is this truth. You know, but, you know, a measure of wheat for a penny, when you go into that word penny, is the Latin word denarius, which basically goes into how the denarius was like a day's wage for a somer, a day's wage of a soldier back in the Roman Empire. So it was going to take a day's wage to buy bread. And, you know, inflation hasn't gotten that ridiculous yet. But, you know, brother just did a video. You got people that's lightweight freaking out because in certain areas, you know, people is complaining because they buying 6 and 7 items and paying $100, depending on what you're getting. You know, so yeah, this thing, the money fella. You know, because if, you know, when it costs you more money to buy goods, that means your money is weaker. And these same things happen in, you know, in the old beast system, you know, which was Rome, and this is the modern day Roman revised system. So it's the book of Habakkuk chapter 2, and I'm gonna start at verse 3. "For the vision is yet for a appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie, though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry." And the vision is this money felon, and, you know, like I just read that prophecy when basically, you know, it's going to take a day's wage to buy bread. And, you know, inflation hasn't went anywhere, but, you know, the help that, you know, this devil Esau Edom was given, basically he's basically tightening up and holding back because he wants you in a state of desperation. Verse 5, "Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith." And his soul which is lifted up, meaning because he's proud, but he's not upright. You know, only a devil would do that, put you in a predicament where you are dependent on him because he's trying to manipulate you, you know, in order to basically ultimately get that C-hip, because this man wants to play the role of the Most High. And the thing is, he has you know, like the elder Yashawamba always says, he said, you know, this is not a smart idea. It's actually a dumbass idea because you're going to be judged for this. Verse 5, "Yea, also because he transgresseth my wine," meaning his philosophy. You know, this man will tell you that you God. You know what I mean? We don't need the Most High anymore. You know what I mean? That a man could be with a man and a woman could be with a woman. "He is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desires hell, and is as death." You know, it goes in the son of perdition, meaning the son of destruction. Everything this man touched, he taints and destroys. I mean, why would you push a philosophy of a man being with a man or a woman being with a woman when that doesn't bring life, that brings death? You can't procreate, you can't create anything. The Most High God set up everything in the Alahayim when basically when they created everything, they said that the way that they set it up and the order they set it up was good. It's this devil with his philosophy and his mindset, you know, this base ass man that literally saying that the Most High God didn't get it right. You know, "And cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. Shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunted proverb against him, and say, Woe to him that increaseth that which is not his, how long? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay." When you go into that word clay, I believe it's abatya, and basically it goes into heavy debts. And this financial system that we are all a part of, because we all are in Babylon the Great, aka America, is a debt-based system. It's a debt note, which they're trying to switch over to basically a digital currency. And that's what you're hearing about. And that's prophecy, which we're basically all witnessing right before our eyes. This is the book of Psalms, this is the book of Proverbs, chapter 11, verse 28. "He that trusteth in his riches shall fall, but the righteous shall flourish as a branch." So, you know, again, it talks about in the book of Luke, chapter 6, that those that be rich on this world have received a consolation. So, you know, people like Sharon Stone, people like the entertainers, and those that have actually been able to gain or amass wealth of our people in Esau Edom society, they've received their consolation, and they're doing. Scriptures talk about cursed be the man that trusteth in man. You trusting in this devil and this system when it's clearly falling in front of your face. Well, cursed be that man, that woman. You know what I mean? He that trusteth in his riches shall fall. You're gonna fall with this kingdom. Scriptures talk about for the love of the money is the root of all evil. This is 1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 10. No, I'm gonna start up. Verse 6. 1 Timothy 6, verse 6. But godliness with contentment is great gain. For we brought nothing into this world, and it's certain we can carry nothing out. And having food and raiment, let us be therewith content. You should be content with your daily bread. Scriptures talk about I think King David said, give me neither poverty nor riches. Because, you either going to be tempted to steal or break the law, or you're going to be so proud. It talks about how Jeshurun waxed fat and kick, or you're going to forget the Most High. But and that's spiritual too, because it just made me think about Solomon. Solomon was so rich and wealthy to the point where, he ended up going off ultimately. It was because he fell in love with his many women, his concubines, but nonetheless, Solomon had great riches. But they that will be rich fall into temptation and a snare and into many foolish and hurtful lusts. It talks about in the scriptures, I think in the book of Sirach or Ecclesiasticus, that sin sticketh close with buying and selling, So with money brings temptation, and we just read it. But they that be rich fall into temptation and a snare and into many foolish and hurtful lusts, which drown men in destruction and perdition. For the love of money is the root of all evil. Money's not evil. It tells you in the scriptures that money's a defense. But for the love of money, if you love the money more than your fellow brother, you got people that worship money, they don't believe in the Most High, like these Mayweathers. A lot of brothers been going in on Mayweather lately, and probably because he think he know the truth. You've seen him; he ain't gonna say nothing out of his mouth, but a picture does say 1,000 words. And they were showing him in Jerusalem, and he took a picture in Jerusalem. I forgot by what statue. He took a picture by something, and and brothers laughed at it because, you ain't going to stand up. You ain't going to risk losing that money. So, yeah, through the spirit, matter of fact, it was another, because, a lot of entertainers are filmed and do things that we don't see. And I forgot, I think he was at like a boxing conference and whatnot, and he went into how the first Jews were black. I remember seeing that one. So he knows to a degree that he's an Israelite. Is he going to actually give up that money? The scriptures talk about how it's harder for a rich man to enter the kingdom of heaven than the camel to enter the eye of a needle. It says, for the love of money is the root of all evil, which while some covet after they have erred from the faith and pierced themselves through with many sorrows. And that's the spirit, because I was just talking about Mayweather. He's not about to give up that money. You know what I mean? It's going to take a special soul to be able to give up the riches of this world. The scriptures talk about enter in ye at the straight gate. Matthew chapter 7. When you go into that word straight, S-T-R-A-I-T, it means a path of difficulty. Those individuals talking about leaving generational wealth in a world where it's being destroyed, where those that the rulers of this world are already trying to conform and transform into what they see is their heaven. But it's going to be a hell for the rest of the world. What else can we get out of here? Oh, this is the book of Psalms 49 and verse 16. Be not thou afraid when one is made rich, when the glory of his house is increased. For when he dieth, he shall carry nothing away. His glory shall not descend after him. You cannot take any of this with you. You know what I mean? That's why the scriptures talk about store up thy treasures in heaven, where moth and rust do not corrupt. You got our people as well as Esau Edom, who's a covetous man, trying to have everything, like he gonna be able to take these things with him. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 73, and I'm going to end somewhere in here. It says, verse 3, For I was envious at the foolish when I saw the prosperity of the wicked. For there are no bands in their death, but their strength is firm. They are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men. Therefore pride compasseth them about as a chain. When he's going into, that's how this link up, because you go into the, Esau, Edom, and the wicked, which tells you who the wicked is, which is a nation of people. In the book of Malachi, chapter 1, they are the most prideful people on the planet as well. So, it's easy to fall in that snare of being envious of them, because, they're not in trouble as other men. They have and want not. But it also talks about how basically they have a time appointed to them for judgment. I believe in the book of Job, verse 9, it says, They are corrupt and speak wickedly concerning oppression. They speak lawfully. They set their mouth against the heavens, and their tongue walketh through the earth. Behold, these are the ungodly who prosper in the world. They increase in riches. When I thought to know this, it was too painful for me. Verse 17, Until I went into the sanctuary of the Most High, then understood I therein. Scriptures talk about it's going to be a recompense. Scriptures talk about how, basically what they dealt out, they're going to receive double. And all those that are joined onto them of our people shall be thrust through along with them. So if you are so-called Black, Hispanic, Native American, Seminole Indian, West Indian, or Haitian, I implore you to come back to the laws, to the statutes, and to the commandments of your power, whose true name in the Hebrew is Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, or you will be destroyed. And with that, I want to give all praise, all honor, and all glory to call Elohim La Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai Ba'Shem Salaki. I want to give all praise, all honor, and all glory to call Elohim La Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai Ba'Shem Kodas Barakatam. Double honors to my apostles, the elders of the great millstone who teach and do rule well. Peace and salutations to the Akim across the four corners of the earth, pushing his truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives, as well as their freedom to do so now more so than ever. Shalom to the Akim and the Akwaf out there listening and learning. Lord willingly, this is edifying. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in the land of other nations, appearing like the other nations, but whom subscribe to this truth. To you, I say shalom. Till next time I'm able to come with another lesson, I'm going to say shalom, shalom. Shalom.